The 2026 Mr. Olympia is now just 6 weeks away, and with the lineup taking shape, it's time to make some predictions. In this video, I'm giving you my top 10 predictions for the 2026 Mr. Olympia. But before we get into the rankings, I'll quickly go through the current competitor list so you know exactly who's in the mix. And if you're only here for the actual top 10 prediction, check the timestamps below and feel free to skip ahead. Sergey Danilov qualified by winning the 2025 Tsunami France Pro back in September last year. Notably, he beat Quinton Beastwood at this show to earn his Olympia qualification. Next, we have Derek Lunsford, the reigning and defending two-time Mr. Olympia, who is obviously qualified for life as a former Olympia winner. Then we have Hadi Choopan, another former Mr. Olympia who was your runner-up last year and who also finished only third at this year's Arnold Classic. Andrew Jacked qualified by finishing in the top 3 last year, and in the meantime, he has won every show he entered, including the Romania Muscle Fest last year, where I saw him live, as well as the combined $1 million prize Arnold Classic US and Arnold Classic UK. Michael Krizo qualified by winning the British Grand Prix last year, but he also won the 2026 Pittsburgh Pro, making a strong statement heading into this year's Olympia. Tonio Burton qualified by winning the New York Pro this year. He also won the Legion Sports Fest later in the same season. Martin Fitzwater qualified by winning the 2025 Prague Pro, presenting his best shape of all time and beating former Olympia champion Samson Dauda. Martin then entered the Arnold Classics, where he pretty much disappointed, so he's definitely a wild card this year. Andrea Presti qualified by winning the 2025 Poland Pro. I'm very curious to see him back on the Olympia stage. Sean Clarida is qualified for the Open Olympia as well. After winning the Japan Pro in late 2025, he will probably do the 212 as well, but he's qualified for the Open too. Damien Kufel qualified by winning the 2025 Big Man Weekend Pro. He's an impressive mass monster and I'm curious to see his Olympia debut. Mohamed Fouda qualified by winning the Detroit Pro with an incredible showing. Sasan Herati did multiple shows this season, and he qualified by winning the FIBO Pro. He also won the California Pro this year. Leandro Cencini Perez qualified by winning the 2026 Arnold Classic Brazil. William Bonac did multiple shows this season, and qualified by winning both the France Pro and the Empro Classic in 2026. Quinton Herrera finally qualified for the Mr. Olympia by winning the Toronto Pro this year. Edward Cargbo qualified for the Olympia by winning the Italy Pro. Jordan Hutchinson qualified for the Olympia by winning the 2026 Mr. Big Evolution Pro. Behruz Tabani qualified by controversially beating James Hollingshead at the China Pro. I really hope to see him on the Olympia stage at 100% this year. Brandon Curry is a former Mr. Olympia winner. He did multiple shows this year, and even though he impressed at the Arnold Classic, his path definitely looks downward at this point overall. Nick Walker qualified by winning the Tampa Pro in style, in what was probably his best shape of all time overall. Samson Dauda is another former Mr. Olympia winner who is looking for his redemption this year. James Hollingshead got his deserved qualification after finishing controversially runner-up at a couple of shows this year. He finally won the Atlanta Pro and got his deserved ticket to the Olympia. And the last name to punch his ticket to Vegas is Patrick Moore, who defeated Regan Grimes at the recent Texas Pro. Regan, meanwhile, is still yet to qualify. Now that we've seen the entire list, which by the way is not complete yet, there are still a couple of shows left, but I don't think any new name will crack the top 10 at this year's Olympia, so let's proceed. In 10th place, I have Quinton Herrera. This will be his long-awaited Olympia debut, and I believe he has all the tools to make an impression in Vegas. He has everything the judges are looking for, from an aesthetically pleasing physique to an imposing stature and a very complete overall package. I still believe he needs more mass, especially to compete with the biggest guys in this lineup, but if he comes in with conditioning similar to what we saw when he won the Toronto Pro, I think Quinton has a very realistic shot at cracking the top 10. In 9th place, I'm predicting Mohamed Fouda, who really impressed everyone this year at the Detroit Pro with the added mass and superior polish he brought to the stage. His lower body is one of the freakiest and most impressive in the division today, and he presents raw, thick muscle pretty much everywhere. I think his biggest area for improvement is still his back, particularly when it comes to overall development and detail. But if he can nail his prep, bring his best conditioning and peak perfectly, I'm having Mo Fouda in 9th place, potentially even higher, in this early Mr. Olympia prediction. In 8th place, I have last year's 8th place finisher Tonio Burton, who is a very complete bodybuilder with an incredible ability to get shredded every time he steps on stage. He's aesthetic, well balanced, and has a great back as well. I could definitely see him climbing higher on this list, but he's one of the smaller guys in this lineup, and if the rest of the pack nails their preps, I'm expecting Tonio to land somewhere around the same position he finished last year. In 7th place, I have one of my favorite bodybuilders today, Michal Krizo. He's one of the freakiest mass monsters of this generation, and he's constantly improving on the areas he's been criticized for. He's improved his conditioning, his glutes, and his overall presentation, but I still think he needs to do something about his midsection. Although a lot of that comes down to posing. And speaking of posing, that is probably still his biggest weakness. He needs to put more work into his presentation because the physique itself is absolutely worthy of a big placing on the Olympia stage. If he can bring that physique with improved posing and a tighter midsection, Krizo has the potential to surprise some people. In 6th place, I have Martin Fitzwater, who should definitely let his physique speak more than his uninspired mouth. I'm a huge fan of his physique. He's one of the few bodybuilders who has the ability to get crazy shredded while still maintaining impressive fullness, and that combination is extremely hard to beat. The physique he showcased at the Prague Pro was absolutely worthy of a first call-out at the Mr. Olympia. However, the competition is tough this year, and with the lineup we have, I can only have Martin as high as 6th place at this point. In 5th place, I have Hadi Choopan, and for anyone who thinks I'm a hater, listen up. In my opinion, Hadi Choopan is the best bodybuilder of this decade. Just like Dorian is the representative of the 90s, Ronnie of the 2000s and Phil of the 2010s, for me, Hadi is the representative of the 2020s. I genuinely believe he was robbed multiple times of a career that should have included multiple Sando trophies. However, I think he's been on a downward path over the past couple of years, and at this point I believe he's already past his prime. And honestly, I hope I'm wrong. He's also got a new coach for this year's Olympia in Milos Sarcev, so I really hope the two of them can prove my prediction wrong, because I genuinely like Hadi and would love to see him back at his absolute best. But based on what we've seen so far, I'm having the Persian Wolf in 5th place for this year's Olympia. In 4th place, I'm predicting the current champion Derek Lunsford, and I'll admit, I'm not a huge fan. I like Derek when he's really on, but honestly, I've only seen him bring that level of physique once in his entire career, at the 2025 Arnold Classic. For whatever reason, the judges seem to absolutely love his physique, and that is pretty much the only reason I'm putting him ahead of Hadi Choopan. Aside from having an impressive back and an incredible vacuum, I personally believe Derek has a pretty flawed physique that most of the time shouldn't really be compared with some of the other top guys in this lineup, but judging history matters and the judges have consistently rewarded Derek very highly, so despite my personal opinion on his physique, I'm giving the current champion 4th place in this early prediction. In 3rd place, I have Nick Walker, who is actually my favorite bodybuilder today. In my opinion, he represents everything I love about bodybuilding today: mass, conditioning, and no fucking suspicious muscle groups. But I digress. He's obviously flawed when it comes to proportions, and that has held him back from winning a major show throughout most of his career, aside from the 2021 Arnold Classic. Personally, if everyone comes in at their absolute best, I would actually give Nick Walker the Sandow, but the judging criteria don't always align with my own preferences, so I have to take that into consideration. With that said, I still have Nick making the podium once again, but no higher than 3rd place. In 2nd place, I have Samson Dauda, who may very well be the real aesthetic mass monster. However, after last year's disappointment, we can only speculate about how he's going to look this year. We know he's playing the size game this time around, but size hasn't really been the main issue throughout his career. It's been conditioning. He tried to bring significantly better conditioning last year, but in the process, he lost some of his trademark size and fullness. And while I really appreciate Samson's physique, I still believe he has an inability to get as shredded as I personally expect a Mr. Olympia winner to be. That said, if he can bring back the size and fullness while making meaningful improvements in conditioning, he's going to be extremely difficult to beat. So after finishing 4th last year, a top 2 finish is definitely not a bad prediction for the Nigerian Lion. The 2026 Mr. Olympia winner in my early prediction is Andrew Jack. He has the best momentum going into this Olympia after winning the Arnold Classic this year, which had the biggest prize money of any bodybuilding show ever, including the Mr. Olympia. He already defeated two of the biggest favorites for the Olympia title, Nick Walker and Hadi Choopan, at that show. He also defeated Samson Dauda at last year's Mr. Olympia. The only bodybuilder he hasn't defeated over the past year is Lunsford, but that might just be a formality, to be honest. Now, a Derek looking like he did at the 2025 Arnold Classic could certainly be dangerous, but Andrew looks like he's already been pre-picked to be the next Mr. Olympia, and I believe it's really only up to him. If he brings a superior physique, or at least a similar physique to what he brought at the Arnold Classic this year, I don't think there's much the other guys can do about it. Because after the 2026 Arnold Classic, I believe the judges have already made up their minds about what they want to see from Andrew. But don't make any mistake about it. I'm not hating on the idea at all. I actually like Andrew a lot. I just hope he brings more dryness and detail this time around, because I'm honestly tired of seeing soft Mr. Olympia winners. Anything beyond what he brought at the Arnold should be enough, in my opinion. If Andrew can improve on that physique, I believe he would be a very deserving Mr. Olympia champion. And that's my early top 10 prediction for the 2026 Mr. Olympia. Obviously, we're still 6 weeks out, and a lot can change before these guys step on stage. Let me know your top 10 in the comments. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.